What's up, guys? I am back today doing a Instagram Q&A. Instagram, Facebook, Gmail. I get tons of great questions, and part of being able to balance everything I do in my life, there's certain things I just don't have time for. So I apologize if you've ever messaged me and I haven't responded. I try to answer as many people as I can. So I thought this would be a great way to do a video, answer some of your questions, and usually other people have the same questions and it helps them out as well. If it's too long, we'll separate this in two videos, but I want you to hit the like button if you like the Q&A and want to see the second half of it. If I don't get a good amount of likes, we just won't post it, you know? So give me some likes. Am I taking on new clients? I currently have a wait list, as you guys know. Since I work full-time in addition, I want to make sure I give clients the time that they deserve, the attention that they deserve, and so I do currently have a wait list, but if you're interested in coaching, you guys can email me, I'll add you to the wait list, and I can let you know about how long it'll be. There's that, karacorey@gmail.com. That's one of my email addresses that I try to keep track of. Tips to getting through workouts and day-to-day stuff when you are deep in prep and feel like the poop emoji. It's tough when you're like deep in prep. Like, I know for me sometimes, like, I kind of max out. I'm not at that point now. I have really good energy still for the most part. But you can kind of get to that like max out point where it's like, you're fine, you do your lift, you go to work or whatever errands you have to run, and then like 2 p.m. hits and you're just like, you're crashing for the day, right? So that can get really hard. I'll be honest with you, how I've normally gotten through is caffeine. I'm just gonna be real with you. Normally my caffeine intake increases during prep, and that's why I purposely kind of get it back down when I'm off prep. And actually prior to going into this prep, my caffeine intake was like bare min, like not a lot of caffeine at all. Not saying that's the healthiest avenue, but that's the reality of it. For me, starting RD Nutrition Fitburn changed my energy. So having one of those in the morning, 150 for one capsule, is all I take. And it's funny because I used to have like some good pre-workout in the morning on top of drinking coffee, maybe getting an afternoon Monster. Like, whoo, girl, I was just like caffeinating. This is a couple years ago. I don't do that anymore because I literally feel like not healthy when I do that. But starting the RD Fitburn, taking that one in the morning, I shit you not, I can last all day long on that. And I don't mean like you can't concentrate and you're like going crazy. Like, it just gives me good energy and at a constant pace, and that's due to the types of caffeine that's in there. So people look at the label and they're like, what the hell is all this caffeine? There's 3 different types of caffeine in there, but that's actually the right combination so that you're not having that crazy crash. So that's super helpful for me in prep, and that's probably one of the main supplements I'm going to be taking throughout the rest of this prep. So the other thing I'm going to say too for tips deep in prep to get through it is remembering your purpose. If I had times when I am just feeling like useless, I don't want to do anything, then you get nasty at people because you're like, ah. I just try to like reignite my motivation, whether it's like, for me, I'm fortunate I get to look back at YouTube videos. So on occasion, I'll go back to like one of my old prep series and watch a video, and maybe that sounds silly, but it kind of motivates me. It kind of kickstarts me again. Sometimes you just need a little extra sleep if you can fit it in. I'm a firm believer in napping during prep. If you can fit it in, you had a heavy leg day, take a nap afterwards. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't care if you're 40 or 14. Naps are the way to go, okay? We need more naps in our life. I'm much happier if I can nap. So those are just some of my suggestions when you're deep in prep and feeling like crap, you know. How do you know if and when you need to bulk versus cut? For example, if you're at X amount of body fat percentage and you're not seeing definition, is that a sign you need to bulk? I don't really think there's like ever a time you need to bulk or cut. It really just depends. In bulk, for instance, like I think a lot of people bulk, and I don't know that you have to bulk. Like, does anyone really have to bulk? Depends on what your goals are. You know, if I think a lot of people sometimes think they have to do what's trendy, which is either being in a cut phase or a bulk phase. You don't have to do either. You can just like eat like a normal person and try to eat healthy and intuitively and things like that. In terms of a set body fat percentage dictating if you need to cut or bulk, no, I personally don't think so. It comes back to what your goals are. So if your goals are to see more definition, you want to see your muscle better, you want to see more lines, more shreds, fit into your clothes better, then yes, a cut would probably be appropriate to lose some body fat. In terms of bulking, sometimes we bulk, increase our macros in order to help gain more muscle, to fuel us better during our workouts, to feel stronger, maybe to help assist our metabolism after dieting for a long period of time. So those are some of the reasons why you might enter a cut or a bulk, but I don't believe there's really a set body fat percentage that's gonna lead you on that path. Again, you need to assess your goals and what you ultimately want to do and what you're going to feel good doing. If you had to choose one, would you rather eat chocolate or cheese for the rest of your life? That's really hard because I like chocolate and I really love cheese. If I had to choose one though, I don't like it when I have to choose foods. I can't choose. I can't decide to not have a food again. I think I would have to choose chocolate. I really love cheese though, but I think I have more chocolate throughout my life, like even just in my protein shakes and my machine uptake. So I think I would need to keep chocolate in the mix. What are your post-competition plans? My competition is June 3rd, so I'm pretty much going to be going into the summer. My plan, that is my only plan for competing. That could change. I'm not sure if, like, for instance, I might want to do a show in the fall. I don't really know. So if my heart's really in it for competing, I could, who knows, maybe try to maintain a leaner physique throughout the summer months. My true goal post-competition is to maintain a healthier relationship with food than I did last competition, to maintain just kind of like overall health post-competition and overall happiness. And that was something that got lost for me last competition. So for me, it's just really maintaining that healthy mindset. I don't necessarily know what my physique goals would be at this point in time. It's really going to depend on when I cut down more and see kind of what I'm working with and what I go on stage with for what my actual physique goals are. But I plan to still go to the gym, still work out. I've always done that. I'll always train and love to train regardless if I'm competing or not. You know, and that'll be it, I think, for post-competition. It's time will tell. You'll have to keep following my Driven series and find out. Someone asked, traveling on prep, ? It's absolutely doable. A lot of people do it. It's something I usually ask my clients. What are your plans? Are you traveling anywhere? Are you going anywhere? And how dedicated are you to staying on plan? I myself have traveled before. If you guys watched my videos about a year and a half ago, I did travel while I was actually almost 2 weeks out from my competition, and I still placed first in my show. I stayed very structured. I went to the grocery store. If I ate out, I was very smart about the choices I was making when I ate out. I was very specific with the foods I asked for. It's really easy and it's really doable. It doesn't have to be stressful. It's helpful, I think, if you pack your own meals and if you're able to in that situation, because you know, when you're close to your competition, it's the only way you're really gonna truly know what you're putting into your body is if you make it yourself, right? So, you know, there's some variables there when you order out, even if you are specific with the food. So, can be done though. So, and then there's also, you know, meal companies and other things too that people order when they travel, but I've never done that. Hey, been following you for a while. You are my first gal I followed on the tube. I said the tube, she said YouTube, but I like to call it the tube. What do judges look for with hair? Straight, wavy, solid color, highlights, shiny, longer the better, full and big? I don't think they give a fuck, to be honest with you. They do not give two shits if you have frosted tips or a mohawk. I don't believe it takes away from anything. What I will say in terms of hair, you know, guy, girl, whatever you're competing in, is make sure your hair isn't taking away from your physique. So, you know, I think about girls with long hair. I know for me, I try to make sure it's not covering my boobies because I want my boobies to look big to help with my symmetry. And I try to make sure it's not like covering my shoulders either because I want to show off my shoulders. So think about what best shows off your physique. I like a sleeker look on stage is what I'm trying to say. I like a polished, kind of classy look where your focus as a judge is on the physique and that I'm not distracted by someone with like giant like curly hair or extensions and things like that. So, but really a judge is not going to give you feedback on your hair. If they do, that's kind of crazy. How much booty should one show in one's bikini bottom for a competition? I think you should show all the booty, but it is individualized based on the booty and how good the booty is. I personally always recommend the Pro Cut bikini bottoms from Angel Competition Bikinis. It just emphasizes the glutes like so much better. Like the booty just looks better to me the way the cut is. So that's really, really important to make sure you get a good cut that shows off your booty as much as possible. I know a lot of people worry about that. They worry if they go to a show and they show too much booty, the judges might like yell at them or tell them it's unacceptable. I personally have competed in a lot of different leagues or whatever. I've competed in NPC, OCB, IMBF. I've never seen anyone say that you're showing too much booty. What they don't want you to do is show your vagine by bending over too far when you're in your back pose. So that's something I would advise not to do. But usually the more booty, the better, okay? So don't be afraid to show it off. It's kind of what you're there for. This is not a question, but a comment that I feel is worthy of sharing. Wow, Kara, you sure look nice today. And that smile is like icing on the cake. Are you working with a coach or coaching yourself? I did actually just answer this in another video because a lot of people have asked me. I am working with Danica Johnson again, who I worked with for my 2016 prep season. So she's been, I kind of started off myself for a little bit because I started tracking macros and getting kind of pre-prep or whatever you want to call it because I wasn't sure if I was going to compete yet or not. It was like, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this or not, so let's just start macros and see how things go. So I did that on my own for about 3 to 5 weeks, probably about 5 weeks, and then I started working with Danica at my 12-week out point. So favorite low-carb meals, I like to do riced items. That's all the rage right now. So riced cauliflower I find super filling and super satisfying. You get a lot of volume with it and it's just very filling. So I like doing a lot of like lower carb high volume vegetable meals. So cauliflower, I like to do butternut squash lately has been my jam, the butternut squash rice. Some of you guys have seen me consuming. Zucchini's great again to add in for volume, but just trying to add in like all the vegetables in combination with the protein and a little bit of fat I find is really helpful. I also do have sweet cravings, as you guys know, and I like to do low carb desserts. So like for me, while prepping, I still need to feel satisfied even if I have a lower carb day. It helps keep my mind right and my mindset, or not my mindset, but my relationship with food good to still feel like I'm not totally deprived of those things. So like my MTS Nutrition Brownie Bowl is low carb and high protein and super delicious, and it doesn't taste low carb at all. And then my other low carb favorite is my MTS Nutrition waffles, because, you know, or like the 1 carb waffles you guys see all over Instagram and YouTube. Those are great because they taste carby and there's like barely any carbs in them. So I love kind of throwing in those fun foods too, just to like mentally feel like you're eating more carbs than what you truly are. Okay, I would love a talk about sodium and how you monitor it and why. This is a good question that probably a lot of people do very differently. I don't heavily monitor my sodium whatsoever. And what I mean by that is I do use my Fitness Pal. It tracks my sodium, obviously. I'm considerate to not exceed the recommendations for how much sodium you should have in your diet, which is about 2 grams or 2,000 milligrams. That's, I believe, the recommendation from the American Heart Association. So I usually stay around that. During prep, I don't really do anything different. I'm not someone that uses a lot of table salt. Like, I do use a little garlic sea salt sometimes, so that's salt. But I think a lot of people have the misconception that you need to remove sodium out of your diet during prep, and that's not necessary. Your body's going to respond to what you're used to. If you're someone that's used to having sodium in your diet, you're used to having a little sea salt, a little sugars-free ketchup, you know what I'm saying, on your egg beaters that are also, you know, sodium dense. If your body is used to those things, it's used to it. Like, you're not gonna just like all of a sudden be bloated because you had some sodium. I don't do anything different with prep. I keep my sodium intake as is, and I don't change it. My focus is my health with sodium, and my blood pressure is like, you know, titties, and I don't change anything with that. So I know a lot of coaches do play around with that based on the person, based on how they're looking. I'm not someone that does the sodium manipulation. So I actually feel much better if I'm getting sodium in my diet. Like, if I'm not paying attention and I look at my FitnessPal and my sodium's like 1,000, like, you know, sometimes I need to replenish and get in those electrolytes. So